Hi guys, Hei5man here, and welcome to my Monday Night Raw review. It is today, January 14th, 2025. I will be reviewing last night's show, January 13th, 2025, the debut of Pentagon Jr. This was excellent. I did not watch Raw. I watched the highlights after my class this morning at 9:30. Like I said, I'm starting class again, so watching the shows, doing watch-alongs, I'm going to have to revamp my channel. I'm going to be doing reviews instead of watch-alongs. I could be doing AEW Dynamite, but that's where I want to get into. AEW Dynamite is it's not the best show. I'm basically viewing Dynamite as when Vince ran WWE in 2019. Matches are put together. There's a 12-man tag on Saturday. So it's going to be Chris Jericho and his group and the Death Riders and people on social media. I don't have Twitter. I'm watching this from JD from NY's video. He did a video yesterday regarding Tony Khan making that match and the online backlash from Twitter. It doesn't make sense. Nothing makes sense. So yeah, AEW. I'm probably just gonna do shorts on that. I don't feel like covering it. They don't deserve my time. Other than shorts, if I find something great. WWE, however, they deserve my time. They deserve my time to review these shows because they are great. I'm gonna get into a lot of things. What happened tonight? cmpunk came out, announced himself at the Royal Rumble. Drew McIntyre, Seth Rollins came out. McIntyre announced himself at the Royal Rumble. Lyra Valkyria is your new WWE Women's Intercontinental Champion. We had Finn Balor versus Damian Priest in a street fight. Damian Priest was dominant in that. Dominic Mysterio's in the doghouse with Liv Morgan after what happened last week. He tried to hug Rhea Ripley after she won her match against against Liv Morgan and won back her title. We had Ludwig Kaiser versus Sheamus. Sheamus won. Braun Breaker was in the audience and he said, "You want to go? You want to go again? You want to go for another rematch? You can't beat me." What else happened? So Jey Uso wants to go after Gunther for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. That match is confirmed for Saturday night's main event. And the match with Penta and Chad Gable, I'm gonna focus heavily on that tonight or today. Today rather. I gotta get my time zones in order here. So I got the transcript. Thank you, WrestleView, for printing out this or typing this wonderful transcript of a breakdown from the show. I'm gonna go over that right now, but I want to get into Penta's debut. Like I said, I did not watch last night, obviously, because I don't have Netflix. It's my sister's account. They blocked us out. Oh, you're not in the household. You can't get it. Blah, 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 blah. So I was like, okay, you know what? I'm just going to review it today. Watch the review. Have my coffee. I have my coffee right here. I'm going to review it. I'm going to watch the videos, dissect, digest what happened, and I'm going to talk about it right here. So, AEW. I remember I went to the first episode, October 2nd, 2019, with my girlfriend, now wife. We both went to the show. I knew nobody there except for Cody Rhodes and John Moxley. And Chris Jericho, of course. I knew nobody. And there was a segment with, who were they? SCU? Yes, SCU. SCU came out. Well, first of all, they did their presidential, there was a presidential video package, and they were saying this is the worst state we've ever been in, and the crowd was going crazy. I had no idea who these people were. So then it cuts back. So then it cuts to the stage. It cuts to the stage of these guys talking, and all of a sudden, Rey Fenix with a microphone is speaking. Out he and Pentagon Jr. come out from the stage, and they're talking, and they say, and I quote, "We are the best tag team in the universe." I had no idea who these guys were, but from that moment on, I became a fan. I was like, wow, these guys are cool. They had amazing matches in AEW. But as the years went on, the tag teams in AEW were not what they once were, and it's very sad. I remember solely AEW with tag teams, and that was the bread and butter, tag teams. But then as the years went on, they decide to split some up. Other tag teams left to go to other promotions. Their contracts expired, and then Ray Phoenix and Pentagon Jr. I believe it was against uh, uh, Jurassic Express, which I did see on the first episode of Dynamite as well in a dark match. I was heavily intrigued with these guys. Jungle Boy Jack Perry and Luchasaurus. Wow, this is cool. Like, it's something I've never really seen before. I liked that tag team as well. Split them up. Now Luchasaurus is with Christian Cage, now Killswitch, and Jack Perry, we all know what happened with him. Because of CM Punk's firing, AEW is not what it once was, and they chose Jack Perry over CM Punk, which I will never understand. So they had the match with Jurassic Express and Pentagon Jr. and Ray Phoenix. This is the last match I really, really, truly remember them having. And Ray Phoenix broke his arm, and literally you could see it on TV. It was gruesome. It was horrible. And then that's when they really started to go into the singles matches. When Ray Phoenix was out, Pentagon was out there doing his thing as a singles competitor. Very good. Very good. And then something happened. I don't know what happened. Pentagon, stopped being shown on TV. Obviously, Phoenix was off TV as well. And then we started hearing the rumblings of Pentagon's going to WWE. Pentagon's going to WWE. I was like, holy crap. That's cool. So 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago even, of Raw, there was a vignette of a circle with a slash, a red slash going down, static, off the air. Who could that be? I had no idea. Around the, JD, he's my source when it comes to Twitter because I don't have Twitter anymore. So a lot of people are saying, oh, it's Pentagon Jr. That makes sense. Zero fear, right? Cero miedo, all that stuff. So then the next week comes, and then we get the circle with a slash, but this time we're seeing the mask, the Penta mask that we all know. Oh man, Penta's coming in. And then for those stupid people, who's this guy? Last week, they clearly put the mask and then they spelled out Penta. So you know who's coming. And then yesterday, I go on so this is how I get my news. I type up whatever I want and I click the news feed. And then all the stuff that's regarding that subject is pasted, all the news articles that are within that subject. So I type up WWE, I click news. Pentagon Jr. Pentagon Jr. merchandise on WWE Shop ahead of his debut. So I click on that. It's on WWE Shop. Shirts, sweatshirts, even the mask, $75 mask. Looks like great quality. I'm thinking to myself, and JD put this on his podcast last night, why didn't AEW do this with Pentagon Jr. and Ray Phoenix when they started? Sure, they had shirts. They had shirts, great, but where were the masks? When AEW was, when they had their Dynamite shows, where were the masks of Pentagon and Phoenix? They weren't there. This is going to be a moneymaker for WWE. The presentation, I watched the videos of his presentation. The presentation of him coming out was great. The match with Chad Gable was good from what I saw. They highlighted Uh, they highlighted Pentagon Jr.'s best spots. And Chad Gable sold the Mexican Destroyer like gold. It was great. Pentagon Jr. then had a mic at the end of the match and said, "I am here. I am at WWE. I'm so grateful. I love you guys. I am here. And for anyone who has been with me since the Lucha Underground days, I thank you for following me." And I have a feeling that, I said this yesterday. I watched Malachi Black's match on Saturday. I was debating on going, but I didn't go. And he was facing Orion, and he was hyping up Orion after the match. But Malachi won his singles match. He had his AEW music. He was represented as the House of Black, Malachi Black. People are thinking, even myself, we'll believe it when we see it. Malachi is still with AEW. I don't know why out of all the things you do with the talent, you don't make Malachi the head of your company. He's great. He's very creative mind. He's a great professional wrestler. Him, Buddy, and Brody. I'm glad they run the trios matches, but as far as singles, you can only hold the trios championships for so long until you say, you know what? I deserve better than this. Look what's going with Montez Ford. He's in a tag team with Angelo Dawkins. We saw his performance at the Elimination Chamber. We know he can be a singles competitor. Is that what he's looking for? At some point, you as a star have to, this tag team, I love it, but it's holding me back from more than what I want. You can be a tag team participant at WrestleMania, but it's even sweeter to be a singles participant at WrestleMania, or even any show. WWE is rumored for Backlash to be at Mexico City this year. If Penta has the main event as a singles competitor, he is going to get he already got the red carpet treatment tonight. He's going to get the ultimate red carpet treatment at Backlash in Mexico. And I will preference this. I won't be doing watch-alongs for weekly shows, but I will be doing watch-alongs for pay-per-views, and I will be covering Backlash in a watch-along. I will be watching the match and breaking it down the best I can. What else happened on that show? Like I said, CM Punk, he declared himself the Rumble. We're gonna get into what he said and everything, but I want to break down my analytical feelings of, and what I see and what I hear, what I heard from the highlights. I was at WWE Raw Rumble last year in January. Punk came out at 27. Oh man, Punk's coming out. What's gonna happen? All of a sudden, then Drew comes out. Drew gives him a DDT. And Punk is out of the match. Punk's hurt. I had no idea. I was too focused on the match. I was too focused on Cody. I was focused on, McIntyre and Cody going at it. I had no idea that CM Punk was injured. WWE somehow turned that into a storyline, and it gave CM Punk and Drew McIntyre the ammunition to have a feud, the feud of the year in 2024. There's a video out there. It's like a Skyfall 007 Skyfall video of Drew McIntyre, and it's done so well. It was by a fan. The mic work between the two was great. But yeah, overall it was all about Penta tonight. There were other things sprinkled throughout the show that are going to be happening within the next couple weeks for the Rumble and for Saturday Night's Main Event on the 25th. But it was all about Penta. It was all about Penta tonight, and I couldn't be more happy for them. And then after this, I'm gonna get into the show, and I thank you guys for watching and supporting my channel, and I love you guys. So WWE had their, once the show goes off the air, they slowly churn out the videos of the review, and there was a review of Penta speaking after the match. And I said, I put in the comments, I said, I went to the first AEW show in 2019 and I saw Penta. And I said, "This is awesome. I couldn't be more I couldn't be more excited for him. I can't wait to see all the fresh new matchups he could have." It got 61 likes and probably is going to continue getting likes, because unlike other people, I am not in this spectrum to hate. I'm here to critique, and I'm here to hopefully make the shows better, especially on AEW side. WWE has their problems when it seemed fit, but WWE right now is on fire, and AEW is not sinking, but I mean their attendance, their views. I don't know what needs to change. I mean, I was at World's End. It was a great pay-per-view, but where are the stories? Where are the captivating? I've been watching wrestling since 2001, and I've always seen it as a soap opera. What carries a show to the next week? What is going to keep me invested into watching the show? That's it. You got the heel, the baby face, and we like him. We hate the guy, but both Vince McMahon and Austin said emotion sells tickets. I've stated this multiple times on my other videos. If you're going to get the crowd emotionally invested in a story or in a character, look at me with Final Fantasy VII, the original. I'm so invested in the story and the characters, I want to keep playing. That's exactly what's happening here with WWE. You emotionally invest in the characters and the story, and people will want to watch, even go live and participate in the chatter, participate in the crowd response, and that's it. That's professional wrestling 101. So we're going to get into the show. I thank you guys for joining me. So we start Monday Night Raw off on Titantron after the pyro and whatnot. So a black truck drives into the Staples Center, and it's CM Punk. A loud CM Punk chant fires up. CM Punk steps out of the truck and walks in. He goes through the tunnel to the gorilla position and makes his entrance. So Punk makes his entrance and the crowd is fired up. Punk takes a young fan's yeet glasses, puts them on, and does a yeet. Punk stands on the commentary table and grabs a microphone before entering the ring. Another CM Punk chant fires up. Punk says he loves San Jose because before we get to business, he wants to acknowledge the firefighters, first responders in the great state of California and the surrounding states as they fight this terrible natural disaster. Now, my friend lives in San Diego, and he's telling me, the group of friends, that it is the homeless people who are mistakenly, purposely, lighting these fires around the rich areas, so the rich people can be evacuated out of their homes, and the homeless can take advantage and start stealing from the rich people, not knowing that they are causing all this destruction in California. California is a huge homeless problem, and it's becoming a real problem around the United States. But that's saved for another day. But that's from what my friend said, which is horrible. From the good entertainment portion of the evening, Punk asked, "Is it good to be alive on Monday Night Raw in San Jose or what?" There was a lot of pressure on him with the Netflix debut last week. Did you see the straight-edge superstar beat the Messiah Seth Rollins? Yes, I did. Punk has a lot of things on his plate, but Rollins isn't one of them anymore. Last year at the Royal Rumble, it was his first televised match in WWE in over a decade. It didn't go his way. Even his tricep was separated from the bone. Punk's dreams, which were always so scared that people couldn't see them, you couldn't see them anymore. Punk does the John Cena's "you can't see me" taunt, and the crowd is shocked. A lot of people don't see a neon sign that's saying WrestleMania hanging in the crowd, but he sees it. Punk makes his biggest setback, his biggest comeback. Speaking of comebacks, the man who famously said you can't see him, John Cena. Punk sees him and always has. Punk sees John Cena has declared himself for the Royal Rumble, but Punk is here to also do the same. Punk will throw 29 other superstars over the top rope, whether they see him or not. Then you hear Punk. Then you hear his music. Punk's tell them to play his song. And Burn It Down starts playing. And Pat McAfee yells out, "That's not his song, Cole." Pat McAfee with the one-liners. I love it. So Punk looks very incredibly frustrated as Seth Rollins comes out. Punk says there's always someone he doesn't want to see. Why it can't be Rhea Ripley who interrupts him. Rollins slowly makes his way to the ring and gets in. Punk stares at Rollins, who's sporting a nasty bruise on his right eye. It looks like he went scuba diving and the going down too fast. The suction caused a bruise on his lower eye. That's what it looked like. Punk isn't happy to see him, but it shouldn't be a surprise. Last week, Rollins told him he'd be in the ring, win, lose, or draw. He's a man of his word. If he weren't and didn't show up when times were hard, that wouldn't be Rollins. That would be Punk. Punk asked, "But I'd be the winner still, right?" Rollins said he would rather be the worst version of himself than be with any version of CM Punk. He's lost a lot of big matches, title matches and WrestleMania matches, but last week was the worst loss of his career. Rollins never been more disappointed that he underestimated CM Punk. He didn't get the job done on the biggest stage of his life. The only way Rollins could get redemption is to take Punk's WrestleMania dreams and flush them down the toilet. Punk isn't going to win the Royal Rumble because he's going to win the Royal Rumble. Punk says it's every man for himself. All he sees is a guy that couldn't pin him. So he's trying to take the easy way out by throwing him over the top rope instead of pinning him 1, 2, 3. Drew McIntyre's music hits, and Punk shouts, "You've got to be kidding me." McIntyre stares on stage. McIntyre both says they're both self-serving. Punk says the last time he saw McIntyre, he was on his knees with tears in his eyes, bleeding on the mat and pleading for his life. Like I say, the feud prior with McIntyre and Punk, McIntyre and Punk, that was great business. If McIntyre takes one more step, it will take more than 15 staples to close his wound. McIntyre says it might be a shock to Punk, but he wasn't talking about him. He was talking to Rollins. Rollins says Punk's invitation is now his invitation. He'll stomp McIntyre's head into the mat. McIntyre says they should feel like they're looking into the mirror. The only difference is Punk admits that he's a big piece of crap. McIntyre says Rollins acts like a big leader, but when everyone was doing their part in the tribal combat, Rollins was nowhere to be seen. Rollins was worried about his selfish agenda and his little match. Then he lost that match. It's pathetic. Rollins says he has no patience for McIntyre. Punk says he has no patience for Rollins and McIntyre. Punk is out of time. When Jarrett wants to swing, he's right here. Rollins gets fired up, and McIntyre suggests a triple threat match. McIntyre heads to the ring before asking, why did he even do that? There's a bigger problem going on here. Roman Reigns is playing chess while every other idiot is playing checkers. McIntyre is always a recruit hero, but he'll step up to the locker room if there were a way for him to get that title before Reigns does. Wait, there is. McIntyre says he'll see him in the Rumble. So we have John Cena, we have Seth Rollins, we have Punk and McIntyre, and Roman Reigns. 5 people that could realistically be contenders for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship or the undisputed title that Cody holds. It's going to be a very, very interesting Royal Rumble, and I will be live for that as well. This is going to be a very unpredicting Royal Rumble for sure. Let's see. Damian Priest is shown walking into the arena early today. Obviously, Damian Priest and Finn Balor having their street fight match. Finn Balor is also shown walking with JD McDonough. Lyra, Valkyria, and Dakota Kai with Io Sky are also shown arriving in the Staples Center. Lyra, Valkyria versus Dakota Kai is happening tonight as well, or last night as well. In the arena, Chad Gable, so first match of the night. Already starting with a bang. I had no idea this was the first match. So for this to be the first match, it's a big deal. It gets the crowd, the first thing. So what I always like about WWE programming is the first thing you see on the show is the highlight of the entire show. Now Punk, Rollins, and McIntyre are the highlight of the show. But it's also, the first promo of the show, which we just heard, was Punk, McIntyre, and Rollins declaring themselves in the Royal Rumble. That's huge. But the first match of the show really dictates the rest of the show. Really hypes the crowd up. And this was the match. Chad Gable versus Penta. So Chad Gable makes his way to the stage alongside the American Maid. They stand back and they're making his way to the entrance. He faces a mysterious luchador. Michael Cole cryptically says Gable should have a little fear over his opponent. WWE promotes the Red Cross to help the wildfires. Lights go out and Penta makes his way to the ring. Cole says this was the worst kept secret in the business, no thanks to WWE. Strategically planning merchandise for Penta before his debut. I mean, if you're a business, you're there to make money. Tony Khan is there to just play with his toys. WWE is there to make money. It doesn't matter if you don't like the person, if you hate the person, if you despise the person. They are there to make money, whether you like it or not. So WWE capitalized on this, put out Penta's stuff. I mean, it was obvious last week. Penta was in the vignette, so you knew it was him. So they capitalized this and put his merchandise on WWE Shop prior to the show. Why? To support Penta. That and to make money. But to support Penta, people can buy these. Well, obviously, it's the day of. You're not getting, unless you get it shipped so quickly, with the UPS and USPS, are they that fast? But you are supporting Penta in a way that, maybe you can't get a meet and greet, this and that, maybe you can't do this or that. But the best possible way to support a superstar is to buy their merchandise. And that's what WWE did. Not only did they do this to capture money, but they did this to give Penta the support he deserves coming to WWE as a luchador, and people are buying his merchandise as we speak. I actually might get this with the white sweatshirt. The white sweatshirt looks awesome. So here we go. Chad Gable versus Penta. The crowd chants Cero Miedo. Gable wrenches the arm and takes him down. Gable clinches the side headlock, but Penta gets out, twists the arm, and rolls over for a 1 count. Gable quickly rolls him over for a 1 count. They hit some arm drags and wind up in a stalemate. The crowd gives them a nice hand. Gable punches Penta to the corner and chops him. Gable whips him to the opposite corner and charges, but Penta kicks him in the face. Penta rolls back and hits his head. It's a head scissors takedown. Penta goes for the springboard, but he slides right off the ropes. Penta recovers and hits a weak leg drop. Gable rolls out of the ring. Penta teases a dive, but Gable gets into the ring and he hits an overhead belly-to-belly suplex. Gable covers, gets a 2 count. Gable has him in the corner and starts the 10 punches, but Penta gets out, cradles him down for the cover. Penta super kicks him off the ropes. He does a handstand onto the corner drop kick. Gable rolls onto the apron. Penta kicks him into the midsection. Penta goes for a springboard, but Gable punches him. Gable connects with the German suplex on the apron. The refs checks on Penta. Gable puts him in the ring post and smashes his leg off of the post. Gable attacks the leg. Penta is in a lot of pain. Penta selling the knee. So Gable heads to the top rope with a diving headbutt, but Penta moves. Penta rocks him with a super kick, and Gable is stunned. Penta charges, but Gable catches him with an overhead belly-to-belly suplex onto the corner. They take a few moments to recover before trading in some chops. Penta knees, hits him in the face, and he hits a sling blade. Penta recovers against the ropes and hits Gable with a back body drop over the top rope. Penta hits the rope and connects him with a Top Conjero. Penta lands hard first. Crowd chants, "This is awesome." Gable ducks a punch and connects with an arm bar while heading to the top rope. Gable has to release before the refs counts of 5 to be disqualified. Gable releases and pulls Penta up. Penta chops him and hits a wild head scissors off the top rope. Penta connects with a beautiful Mexican destroyer. 1, 2, and Gable barely kicks out. Phenomenal camera angle to catch that. So Penta wrists around the so Gable blocks another kick and connects with a dragon screw to the injured leg. Penta wrenches around in pain in the mat, which that's the story of the knee. Gable applies an ankle lock. Penta grabs the bottom rope, but Gable pulls away. Penta counters out of it, hits a sacrifice, popping Gable's arm out of the socket. Penta follows up with a Penta driver for the win. So Penta stands tall in the ring. Jackie Redmond comes in for an interview, congratulates Penta on his victory, and welcomes him to Monday Night Raw. He's one of the biggest free agents signing in recent memory. What does this moment mean to him? Penta thanks her and thanks San Jose. Penta says this is his new home. He knows everyone has been waiting for this moment, but he wants to say something. The real truth, he's been waiting for this moment. Penta shouts in Spanish and gets the crowd going. Penta acknowledges his family in the front row. They are all emotional. Penta says, "This is a new era for WWE. This is not only the Netflix era, it's the Penta new era," and he shouts, "Ciro Miedo." Again, very excited for Penta, very happy for Penta, and I'm very excited to see what are the matchups he will have. Especially him being, I'm sure he'll be in the Rumble. So the Judgment Day Clubhouse. Finn Balor is in with JD McDonough and Carlito. Liv Morgan walks in with Raquel Rodriguez. Baszler smirks and says he was just saying she'll be champion again really soon. Morgan says it wasn't just about being a champion. It was about taking a piece of Rhea Ripley. Morgan did that. Dirty Dominic walks up with a bouquet of roses just like he did with Rhea Ripley. Morgan says she's not mad, but if he could get her bags and Raquel's from the car, and make sure the valet is ready for them at the end of the night. She's mad. She's mad. When you ask a woman gentlemen, when a woman asks you, and when you ask a woman, are you guys okay? And they say they're fine, they're really not. So. And then Mysterio doesn't think she's mad at him at all. So Balor, McDonough, and Carlito scoff. Mysterio offers to be ringside for Balor's match against Damian Priest, but Balor tells him to worry about his girl. Sorry, guys. So then we have Sheamus versus Ludwig Kaiser. So Kaiser looks like he's about to drop an elbow onto Sheamus for a 2 count. Kaiser kicks away at Sheamus, but Sheamus averts the shot, striking away from him and puts him on the apron for 10 beats. Sheamus follows up with a white noise off the second top rope for a near fall. Kaiser glides a shillelagh and hits Sheamus in the knee for a near fall. Sheamus sets up the bro kick, but Kaiser chops him and hits him with the step up enziguri for a 2. Kaiser goes for a swinging DDT, but Sheamus fights it off. Kaiser chops him, but Sheamus responds with a knee to the face. Kaiser fights back with a Death Valley driver for a 2 count. Kaiser mocks Sheamus' bro kick taunt. Kaiser goes for a running enziguri, but Sheamus ducks it. Sheamus catches him with a bro kick and picks him up for a victory. So, this is where it gets interesting. Sheamus celebrates with Pat McAfee before getting into the shoving match with the WWE Intercontinental Championship Braun Breaker, who was in the crowd. So then we go backstage. So Kathy Kelly is backstage with Seth Rollins. She mentions he'll be facing Drew McIntyre next week. Ooh. Rollins says McIntyre has been Rollins says McIntyre has been needing him. Next week he owes him one for WrestleMania. Next week should be fun. Rollins walks off before bumping into Sami Zayn. Zayn says he's heard Rollins talking about how tough his loss was and it is available to talk. Rollins says it was a rough week, but it's great for Zayn. Zayn is confused. Rollins says his boy, Roman Reigns, has the Olafala back. Is Zayn going to keep on helping Roman? Or keep helping Reigns? Or will he help himself? Rollins walks off. Zayn looks like he's in thought. So then Gunther is walking backstage. So Karrion Kross exits Raw General Manager Adam Pearce's office and tells The Miz that the Wyatt Six have been moved to SmackDown. Wow. Great. Because I don't have Netflix, now I can watch SmackDown for the Wyatt Six. Awesome. Kross warns Miz that he better not have anything to do with that. Sami Zayn heads to the office, but Kross stops him. Miz mocks Zayn for thinking he could be a world champion. Zayn says he's going to ask for a match against Miz. Miz says it looks like they're going to deal with Zayn, but Kross says he's not doing anything with this. NXT champion Uba Femi is ringside. So before we get to Gunther, I'm going to go back to what Karrion Kross said about the Wyatt Six being moved to SmackDown. I think it's a good move. You know, I wouldn't say they've done all they can for Raw, but I could see for SmackDown, I could see a feud with them versus DIY 100%. That would be great, personally. So WWE World Heavyweight Champion Gunther says last week's Network's debut was a monumental moment. He was impressed, but least impressed with the performances in the ring, I have to say. It was a very, very hyped Raw last week. They brought The Rock out. They brought Undertaker out. They brought Hulk Hogan out. Where are those people this week? Just goes to show you. But this week's Raw was the Raw we should have gotten last week. This Raw felt like a Raw, which is great. So, Jey Uso comes out. So it looks like Jey Uso is eyeing the World Heavyweight Championship. And that match was announced for Saturday's main event on January 25th. So, it looks like we're getting to the Women's Intercontinental Championship. Dakota Kai is shown walking backstage with Io Sky. Elsewhere, backstage we see Lyra Valkyria. History will be made next. So Bayley is at ringside to watch history being made. So we have the Women's Intercontinental Championship match. So let's forward to after the commercial break. So Valkyria is stretching Kai's injured back. Valkyria launches her for 2 count. Valkyria goes for a Nightwing, but Kai counters into a roll-up for 2 count. Valkyria kicks away at her, but Kai does a handstand and kicks away at her. Valkyria powers her up, but Kai hits a Hurricanrana. Kai hits a running boot into the corner and throws her down. Kai hits a chiropractor. Nice. I like that. For a near fall. Kai hits the TKG, but Valkyria rolls out of the ring to save herself. Kai cannot believe it and desperately tries to get her into the ring, but Valkyria is dead weight at ringside. Kai goes for running boot, but Valkyria moves. Valkyria hits a reverse headlock backbreaker. Valkyria follows up with a Nightwing and becomes the first Women's Intercontinental Champion. Now, the match can be speculating. What's next for Lyra Valkyria? What's the next match for her? That's the exciting part. So Raw General Manager Adam Pearce enters the ring and puts the title around Lyra Valkyria's waist. Kai shakes hands with Valkyria and holds up her arm. Valkyria poses as the pyrotechnics go off. So then we have The Miz versus Sami Zayn. So let's continue after commercial break. So Miz starts the it kicks. So they're brawling. So Miz starts with the it kicks, but Zayn counters with a blue thunder bomb. Miz gets out and goes for a skull crushing finale, but Zayn rolls him up for a 2 count. Zayn sets up for a skull crushing finale, but Miz kicks out. Miz retreats to the corner, coward. But Zayn follows him up with a haluva kick. Ooh. Zayn scouted that one. Zayn hits the blue thunder bomb for a win. Sami Zayn wins. So then there's a backstage segment of Rhea Ripley walking out, and we will hear from Rhea Ripley next. So we have another match for the Saturday Night's main event. Braun Baker will defend his Intercontinental Championship against Sheamus, which is great. So Nia Jax is out there in the ring. Rhea Ripley's out there in the ring, and Nia Jax comes out. She says she had to bring herself out here to talk to mommy. Jax gets into the ring. She wants to let Rhea Ripley and everyone else know that she will win the Royal Rumble. She will take whatever title she wants. Tiffany might think she's on top. Mommy thinks the same thing. As for Bayley, she doesn't know why she's here. Bayley would be from this nasty town. Bayley jumps over from the barricade and tells Jax to come up with something different. This might not be her show, but this is her city. The crowd applauded. Bayley tells Jax to say what she said to her face. Bayley calls her a big old dumb idiot. Jax shoves her face. Rhea gets into Jax's face and hits her with a headbutt. Jax headbutts Rhea Ripley down. Bayley kicks Jax in the face, and Ripley finishes her off with a boot to the face. Rhea Ripley and Bayley stand tall in the ring. So it looks like we're going to get Bayley and Nia Jax in the Rumble. And we got. So now we have Rhea Ripley as the Women's World Champion, and we have Tiffany. I had to think about it for a second. We have Tiffany Stratton as the Women's World Championship. So as far as the Rumble goes, who's going to face who? So next week, Dallas, we have the New Day will return to action. Who will they face? WWE Hall. I don't know why this is happening. WWE Hall of Famer JBL will be on the show, and Seth Rollins will face Drew McIntyre. So then the main event, Damian Priest versus Finn Balor. So I'm going to go after commercial break. So they're both beating the crap out of each other. They beat the crap out of each other so much that it starts to go into the crowd. So they start to brawl into the crowd. Priest sends Balor over the barricade. As Priest goes after him, Balor hits him in the head with a metal trash can. Balor hits Priest with a few times before Priest fights back. Priest knees away at him before smashing him in the skull with a garbage can. Balor begs him off before kicking him and sending him back to the crowd. Balor hits Priest with a chair. Balor chops the chest, but Priest reverses a whip onto the metal barricade. Priest chases Balor up some steps and pushes him down. Balor is on a stretcher with a neck brace. This was after they both crashed through 2 tables when they were on the entrance ramp. So Balor's on a stretcher with a neck brace. Carlito and JD McDonough are checking in on Balor. Priest says this match isn't done and attacks Carlito and McDonough. Priest then grabs Balor, who is tied down on the stretcher, and punches him away. Priest rolls the stretcher down to the ringside, and Balor rolls into the ring. Priest signals for the end and hits Balor with a stiff clothesline. Balor is still wearing the neck brace. So, Priest heads to the top rope for a moonsault, or McDonough heads to the top for a moonsault. McDonough and Carlito help break Balor up to tie up to the top rope. Balor rips off the net breaks, and hits the coup de grace off the rope. 1, 2, 3. Priest kicks out. At ringside, McDonough and Carlito set up another table. It looks like they just set up the table prior to. Let me see real quick. So there were two tables set up on the concrete floor when they were on the top of the stage, but Carlito and JD McDonough, they set up these tables that they set up for Balor to put Priest into. So the World Tag Team Champions, the War Raiders, run down to help. Eric takes out Carlito, and Ivo hits McDonough with a spin kick. They hit McDonough with a double team, power bombs, power slam, and brawl to back them. In the ring, Balor hits Priest with a sling blade. Balor holds his neck in pain before picking up a steel chair. Balor smashes the chair off Priest's back a few times. Balor punches Priest until he sits on the chair. Balor drives the chair into Priest's midsection and pushes it around his head. Balor backs up and seizes up Priest. Seated on the steel chair with another chair around his neck, Balor charges, but Priest pops up and hits the South of Heaven with the chair around his head for a near fall. Balor rolls to the ringside, so Priest goes after him. Priest goes for the Razor's Edge through one of the tables, but Balor gets out and hits a sling blade onto the floor. Balor lays Priest on the top and comes off the apron with a coup de grace through the top of the ringside. Balor puts Priest up, but Priest pops up and hits Balor with a slam through the barricade. Priest pulls Balor up and sees the second table on the ringside. Priest hits Balor with a Razor's Edge through the table. The crowd chants, "This is awesome." Priest gets into the ring, grabs Balor by the throat. Priest shouts, "I am not my brother's keeper." Priest hits an emphasized South of Heaven for the win. The winner is Damian Priest. So it looks like, hopefully, this Judgment Day Damian Priest versus Finn Balor storyline is over. But as we saw from last week and this week, Carlito and JD McDonough tried to help Balor beat Priest, but with help from the War Raiders, they were unable to get that job done. So, where do we go next week? I really hope the storyline is over. Judgment Day versus the Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley's totally over that after she won the world title. So when is Balor and Priest gonna be done? I don't know. But next week they're setting up McIntyre versus Rollins. They're saying JBL's going to be on the show. I don't know why. And then we heard the news earlier that the Wyatt Six is going to be moved to SmackDown. Obviously, I guess the trade thing is still in order. They're obviously lining up next week, but this week followed, obviously the debut of Penta, which was phenomenal. But ultimately, next week we're going to get it too. These shows are setting up for the Royal Rumble. Strategically, painting a canvas for what the Royal Rumble will look like. We're going to get Gunther versus Jey Uso for the World Heavyweight Championship. Gunther's not losing the title. Obviously, we're getting Cody Rhodes versus Kevin Owens for the WWE World Championship and Winged Eagle high above the ladder. As far as Raw goes, this is all about the Rumble and what's leading to the Rumble, what's leading to the matches. Obviously, who's going to win the Rumble? Gunther. I feel that whoever wins and whoever wants to face Gunther, if they choose, he will be ready for sure. Lyra Valkyria is the new Intercontinental Women's Champion. Who will she face next week, if anything? Who will she face? What else? cmpunk announced his Rumble. He doesn't have a match next week. Rollins and McIntyre have a match next week, which is interesting. Obviously, there's going to be some sort of fuckery around there because you got Gunther. You got Rollins and McIntyre. Both are, both want to look strong going into the Rumble. What's going to happen there? Is there going to be a DQ or something? I don't know. But that was your Monday Night Raw, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm Hei5man, and I will see you in the next one, preferably on Saturday when I do SmackDown. Take care.